Math Olympiad exam, and different talent search exams. With this, I would quickly like to brief about myself. This is Trishita Majumdar here. I'm a teacher expert at Cuemath with a teaching experience of 4 years. And the subjects that I cater to is mathematics and reasoning, and I teach students from India and US. With this, let's look into the content for today. So let's look into our table of contents for today. So we would be understanding what are embedded figures, figure formation, and figure matrix. Along with that, we'll be looking into applications, objectives, and learning outcomes. So let's quickly move ahead and quickly test your knowledge about embedded figures. So here I'm going to put a figure on the screen, and with this I'm going to give you a certain set of options, and all of you must try to answer this and put up your answer on the comment section. Alright, and then we'll be going and understanding the definition of embedded figures. So, if you look into this, it says which figure includes all the specific parts of the question figure. It means that this is a figure given to us, which is the main figure, and we have to check out this figure and we have to see that the parts which is included in this figure is a part of which of the figures given in A, B, C, and D. So all of you can try to look into it and let me know whatever your thoughts about this question is. Yes, everybody has to give me the answer for this. It's very simple. It's all about observation. How well do you observe? Okay. Let's wait for the answers. Any responses? Okay. All right. So now let us quickly look into the figures here. If you all notice, we'll go option by option. We have this figure here, and we can see that we have the same shape in option A as well, as you all could see, right? So this is done. Coming to the next one, we have 4 rectangles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we can see that here also we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 rectangles, right? And coming to the next one, we do have a sphere, and we do have a sphere as well. Hence, we can see that all the figures, all the parts that's there in the main figure is also there in option A. Whereas for all the other figures, option B, C, and D, either of the figures are missing. Option B does not have a sphere. Option C does not have a lining inside this. Option D does not have a complete sphere, and there are a lot of difference in the other options. So option A is the only one which contains all the figures of this particular diagram. Okay. Now with this, we would be quickly looking into the definition of embedded figures. Let's see here. So embedded figure says, these are the figures hidden inside another figure. A figure is said to be given like X and followed by 4 complex figures, and also given by which we need to find the similar figure X in the 4 given figures. This means that this is what we have to overall do in embedded figures. The meaning of this is whenever we have to find out the bits and parts of a particular figure which could be mapped to another same diagram of framed out of those parts is known as embedded figure. Or you could think about it in this way. Let's say that you have a complete figure with you, and you know it's all given to you in raw form. You have different kind of pieces given to you, and then you have the main picture also given to you. You can take the example of puzzles. Okay, so you know that when we all were young, we had this puzzle cards which we used to get, right? We used to frame the puzzles using the picture that used to be given to us. So that's like the best example of embedded figure and figure formation. By looking into the actual picture, we try to get the bits and parts of those puzzles and we try to join them up. So each of these parts of this is known as the embedded figure of the main picture. Okay, so that is one of the ways to understand embedded figure. Coming to the next one, that is figure formation. Arrangement of a figure from different given parts is called figure formation. So in embedded figures, what we were doing is we were trying to map the same kind of parts from the main figure and in the given options. In figure formation, we'll be given out with the bits and we have to join them, reframe them and get a structure. Okay, so that's known as figure formation. Coming to the next one, figure matrix definition. A figure matrix question contains a grouping of diagrams or figures in the shape of a rectangular matrix. This arrangement of diagrams in the form of a matrix forms the figure matrix. So basically, these kind of matrix are, what do you mean by a matrix? You would have a certain structure given to you. You would have many columns in it. You would have many rows in it. And each of these rows and columns will have different group of objects. We'll have to identify that these group of objects, what kind of pattern are they following? Identifying the pattern, we'll have to implement the same pattern on the given question. Okay, so the main part of figure matrix is the major figure would be in the matrix format, as in you will have many rows and columns, and each of these columns or rows will have some group of objects following some similarity on pattern between them. You will have to observe them properly and accordingly apply that particular pattern in your question. Okay, so I hope all the three definitions were clear to you: embedded figures, figure formation, and figure matrix definition. Also, going ahead with the applications of embedded figures and figure formation, this helps us a lot in solving puzzles. As I told you some time back, puzzles could be the best example to understand these. Measure perceptual processing. What do we mean by perceptual processing? Perceptual processing is the way you perceive things, your perception. And perception comes in within you by observing, identifying, applying, right? All of these are some major aspects of perception. You form a perception only after you observe something, after you try to think about it, after you analyze on it, right? So all of these skills are going to be developed only when you think about such kind of questions in different ways. A lot of students have different ways of thinking on it, different approaches on going about it. But this is something which is definitely very good for your perceptual understanding. Going ahead, general problem solving. Yes, this would definitely increase your problem solving skills. Okay, so defense mechanisms and predicting things which needs to be formed into groups. So for groups, again, these certain topics are very helpful, wherein it helps us to categorize things based on their features. Okay. All right. Let's quickly move ahead with our objectives for today's session. So we are going to work on three different kind of patterns of questions, that is embedded figures, figure formation, and figure matrix. All of you who had attended my session earlier on embedded figures, I'm sure that you all must remember that we have done questions on embedded figures and figure formation and figure matrix. So it was for grade 6 to 8, and today we are going ahead with our higher grades, that is grade 9th and 10th. But people who have already attended my session, I'm sure that for you all, it's going to be very easy and a kind of revision of the same topic. Okay, so with this, let's proceed further and go ahead with our first question. Okay, so this is a kind of quick test which I want to show to all of you. So in which answer figure the question figure is included? So this is the question figure that's given to you. You will have to check out among the 4 given options, in which option do you find the question figure to be included. Okay, so here goes your options. Let's see who gives the right answer. Let me wait for you all. All of you can put your answer on the comment section. Okay, any answers, anybody? It's all based on observation. The better you observe, the better you do such questions. Okay, as you all can see that the figure looks of something of this shape, the actual figure, right? We are now going to go by option and see if this shape could also be found in any of these options. Okay, as you all can see that there's a slanting line here. Here I could see there's a horizontal line, there's a vertical line, and then horizontal, vertical, and then horizontal. Let's see that out of the 4 figures, if we have any such diagram. I could see that there is something which looks similar inside option A. As you all can see, there's a slanting line here which matches here. Then you have, so this is exactly inverted, right? This is exactly inverted. So you have a horizontal, vertical, and then you have horizontal again, then you have vertical again, and then you have horizontal. As you all can see that this figure, that is this X figure, is exactly embedded in option A. Okay, so hence option A is the right answer to this. I hope the observation part was clear enough. Okay, if you want, you could also go ahead and check for the other options. Definitely you will not be able to find out this kind of a diagram. Okay, all right, so with this, here goes our first question. I want maximum responses from all of you. This particular topic does not need much of solving, doesn't need much of pen and paper usage. The only thing that you have to do is observe, observe and observe. Okay. All right. Observe and identify. So here's the given figure to you and here are the given 4 options. And you will have to see that this figure X is a part of which of the following options. Okay. So this is a figure X. So this is a part of which of the following options out of A, B, C and D. Let's see who gives the answer. Okay, you all can quickly respond on the comment section on whatever you think is the answer going to be. Any responses? Okay, let me show it to you. So as you all can see, there is a kind of a V structure here and then you have a vertical line. So it's a kind of Y. You can divide it into 2 parts. You have a Y kind of structure. So first of all, we are going to check all the figures that has a Y kind of shape. So as you can see that the first one doesn't have any Y kind of structure. The second figure does have, but it does not have the vertical line inside it, right? So the Y needs to also have a vertical line. So we do not have it. So here also we do not have any vertical lines. Then going ahead with the third figure, no, here also we do not have a vertical line. So from here, what we can say is it's only option D which is possible, right? So in option D, as you all can see that, look into this, you have a Y. See, I could see this is a Y. And then apart from this, you also have a inverted L. And you all could see that here we also do have an inverted L. So therefore, I could say that option D is the right answer to this. I hope that's clear to all of you on how did we go about this. Okay, so it's just that observe particular shapes from the given diagram and try to figure out those particular shapes in the given options. And then it's going to be very, very easy. All right. So let's go ahead and check out a second question. Spot out one figure from the 4 alternatives in which the given figure X is embedded as one part of its part. So let's see. Here goes your options. All you need to do is you need to observe this figure X properly and you need to check that which among the 4 options is having either a part of X or the complete figure X. Okay. Let's wait for your answers and responses. So all of you can comment on the comment section. Okay, any responses, anybody? Let's see here. Okay, as you all can see that there are 2 triangles here, right? One of them is this. Catch the figure. So out of the best way to go about such questions is look into the figure, catch the best shape you see in here. So the first thing which came up to my mind is the 2 triangles. That helped me. But for you, it might not be the triangle. It could be the vertical line. So what I mean to say is, as we just discussed some time back, perception. It's the way you perceive things. It's not necessary that my perception and your perception has to be the same. So as for me, triangle is helping me out to judge on which of them is correct. Okay. So I'm not going to check on the other figures because that confuses me. Okay. So that's how I go about such question. I do not look into the whole figure at once. I just choose the best shape out of it. And then I try to see if that particular shape is there in any of the figure. Then I see if the rest of it is matching or not. Okay. You could also follow this method if you wish to. Okay. So first thing is that anybody who wants to go by the top part, that is the rectangular part, could also go ahead. But for me, it's triangle. So you can follow my method or you could go by the rectangle method as well. Okay. So as I can see that in the first one, I do have triangles, but they are not on the same direction. They are on the opposite ones. Okay. I need to have them on the same base and both of them aligned on the same direction. Coming to the second one, this is option C. Option C has a triangle like this. It has like this and it has like this. So I can see that I'm having 3 triangles here. This again does not match with our actual figure. Option B definitely doesn't match. As we all can see, it doesn't match at all. The only possibility is option D. As you all can see, look, we have the same shape and the same alignment of the triangles like our figure X. Okay. So hence option D is the right answer to this. That's it. If you wanted to go by the rectangular top method, you could also see that there has to be a horizontal line. There's no horizontal line in option A. Option C also does not have any horizontal line. Option B does have, but the inner part does not match it. So definitely it's option D. Okay. So this is how we go about it. Okay. Alright, so if you are enjoying the session, please do click on the like button and also do share it with your friends. With this, we would be quickly going ahead with our next question. Which of the following figure is exactly embedded in the given figure as one of its parts? So here goes your options. All of you could check on it and give your responses on the comment section. Any answers, anybody? Alright, now let's quickly look into this. Now, if you see, as I told you some time back, that choose the best figure which you wish to. But that was from the question which we chose and we mapped up with the answer. But now if you look into this particular question, it would be slightly difficult for you to go in this direction, that choosing something from the question and then mapping up with the answer. Because the answer has the parts of it. As we all can see, definitely A, B, C and D are not the complete figures. They are just a part of the main figure. So we would be exactly trying to go by options in these kind of questions. Okay. So as you all can see that the first option has some of this slanting line shape, and then you have a kind of rectangular, an open rectangle. So let's see, we do have a slanting shape, but we do not have any rectangle here. This is somewhat like a square, right? So it doesn't work. The first one doesn't work. Coming to the second one is something like this. So we do have like this, option C. Okay. So let's see if we have something like this. We do have this as well, but this is something which is not matching. There is no slanting line which is going. We instead have a vertical line. Okay, sorry, horizontal line. So let's go with option B. Option B shows us there is a slanting line, there is a vertical line, there is a vertical line, and then we have a slanting line, right? So let's try to see if we have anything like that sort. So we have a slanting line, we have a vertical line, we have a vertical line, and yes, we do have another slanting line as well. Hence, option B is the right answer. Option B is a part of the given figure. Okay, I hope you all are able to get some sort of approach on these kind of questions. Approach is important. Okay, it's all upon your comfort zone on how do you want to approach with such kind of questions. It need not be that all of you need to have same approaches, but I'm trying to convey the best, shortest approach that's possible so that you could save your time in such kind of exams on these questions, because these questions are very, very scoring, because this does not consume any solving time of yours. All that you need to do is to just observe and identify. Okay. Okay, with this, we would go ahead with our next question on figure formation. So here goes our figure formation first question. Please observe, everyone. Let's see. In the following question, select a figure from the given options which will complete the pattern. As per this, so let me also quickly put down the options so that you all can check. So as per this, what I observe is, so this is going to be a kind of a diamond shape, because so I could see that there's a line which is going from here, it's going from here, and then this, and then there is going to be another line here. But now we need to observe the inner circles of it. So as you can see, there are 4 circles, right? And in this, the upper half is shaded. And if you observe this, in this, the lower half is shaded. And if you observe this, in this, what's happening? In this, you all can see that the left hand side is shaded. So as the pattern shows that there is a kind of rotation happening, or you could take it by the upper half, lower half. If you want to go by rotation, this was my first position of the shaded part. Then it got rotated by anti-clockwise direction and came in this position. Then in the third one, what happened? Again, there was a rotation in this way. Again, there was an anti-clockwise rotation and it came at this position. So in the fourth one, what's going to happen? Again, there would be another anti-clockwise rotation, and your shaded region would go by this way, which is this half, which is nothing but your right half. So out of option A, B, C and D, I could see that option A has a circle with its right half being shaded. Okay. Or you could say in this way also. So you could see that diagonally this was shaded on one of the halves, and this was exactly the other half, opposite half of it. So diagonally these two also needs to follow the same pattern. So if the left hand side of this is shaded, the left half of this circle is shaded, then the right half of the other circle needs to be shaded. Okay. So I hope the approach was clear for this again. Either you could go by rotation or you could go by observation of patterns diagonally. Okay. All right. A big round of applause to all the participants who are giving the right answers. You guys are doing very well and it's going pretty good. Please keep answering. With this, let's go ahead with our next question. Find out the figure from amongst the options which can be formed from the pieces in the figure. So this is a figure in which you have bits of pieces, and using these pieces, you will have to check out of the given options which one is including all these bits of pieces in it. Okay. So I would be putting down the options as well. So let's see who gets the right answer for this. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. We are going to go option by option. As you all can see, we have a kind of L kind of shape with a slanting line. We have a right kind of triangle. We have this shape as well, and then something like this sort, and then we have this. So now, as for this, we are going to go option by option. So as you all can see in the first option, you can actually observe just one or two parts of it, and then you can move on to the next one. Because if you don't find all the relevant shapes here, why would you even check for the rest? Correct? I can see in the first one, I can find a triangle, but I don't have any sort of this kind of this thing. I mean, an L shape with a slanting line. Okay, as you all can notice here. Also, I do not find this shape. So let me mark this as 1. Let me mark this as 2. Let me mark this triangle as 3, and let me mark this piece as 4. So the first and the second figure is going to be very difficult. It's not present in option A. Coming to option B, if you all notice, we do have a triangle of this sort. That is the third one. Do we have the fourth one? We do not have the fourth one. The fourth one has completely horizontal and vertical lines, but we do have a kind of the second one, which is this part. So if we do not have even one of those parts, we cannot go with the option. Going to option C. If you see in option C, we do have a right triangle. Okay, great. The first one, this third one is done. Coming to an L shape with a slanting line. Yes, we do have this as well, as you all can see. Coming to the third one. Okay, coming to the first one, that is of this shape. So we do have that shape as well, as you all can see. I'll mark it with a blue. So see here, we do have this, and this. So we do have the first shape as well. And the fourth shape that is with us, that is nothing but here itself, it's being formed. Okay, so option C is the one which is having all the parts of the given question. Okay, I hope the approach is clear to all of you. So here goes our question of figure matrix. Question number 1. I want all of you to identify the matrix properly and try to figure out a pattern. The pattern could either be row-wise or column-wise. It could either go diagonally, horizontally, vertically, or any way you want to. But try to figure out a pattern that is being followed here. Only based on identification of pattern, you would be able to go ahead and find out the missing figure. Okay? And let me also quickly put down the options. So I'm sure that at least few of you must have already been able to observe the pattern. Let's see here. How do we go about it? Sorry. So here goes our pattern. You can see that if I go row-wise, let me say that this is my first row, this is my second row, and this is my third row. Okay. So in the first row, as you can see that you have an arrow with this, and you also have another arrow, and you have the third arrow facing in this direction. And in the second one, you all can see that you have all the 3 arrows facing towards the left hand side, right? And you also have a vertical arrow with which is facing on top, and you have another vertical arrow which is facing downwards. And if you look into the third figure, your third figure is a combination of the first and second figure, because your arrows are pointing on both the sides as per the first figure and the second figure. Both first and second figure did not have any arrow at this end. So therefore here also we do have it empty. And also the vertical line has both the arrows on top and bottom. So what we understand from here is that the third figure is a combination of the first and the second figure. If you observe the second row as well, it's going to follow the same. The first figure is this, which is diagonally having these lines. The second figure is having the opposite diagonal figure. And the third figure is a combination of the two. Look into this, as you all can see. So here also there was a vertical line, here it was horizontal, and here it is both combination. Okay. Now, same way, for this also, the first and second figure are given to us. The third figure would be a combination of this. So we would have something like this kind. We would have something like this kind. And then we have these horizontal ones, and we also do have these vertical ones. Okay. So the horizontal ones would be shaded in this way, and the vertical ones would be shaded in this way. So as per this, what we can see is out of option A, B, C, and D, option A and option D looks similar to this, but you also have to check out the shaded region. Okay, the shading part is basically opposite. If you see in the first diagram, the shading is on the left half and the down sphere has the shading on the right part. Okay, but if you look into option A, that's not the case that's happening. Your option A has the shading of the top one in the right area and the down sphere in the left area, which is not correct. This minor difference was to be observed in option A and D. Whereas in option D, you can see that the lower sphere has the shading on the right side and the upper sphere has the shading on the left side, and that's what we need. And also if you look into the horizontal ones, this has the upper half, the right hand side one, and left hand side has the lower part. So option D is the right answer. I hope everybody understood the difference between option A and D. Figuring out the pattern was simple, but eliminating the option was difficult here. So you have to be very, very careful about each and every part of the figure in these cases. Okay. All right. So I hope everybody understood this question. With this, let's quickly go ahead with our second question. In the following question, identify the exact components of the given figure. So as you all can see that in this, we could first of all look into the options. The options are basically giving us the individual parts. So what we can do is we can count them as different parts. We do have a square, and how many spheres do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have one square. And then we have 8 spheres, and then let's check out with these lines. We have how many curved lines? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 curved lines, 4 curves, and then we also have another part that's nothing but horizontal lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 horizontal lines. Okay. Now, based on all of these categories, we are going to see which among option A, B, C, and D has all of these. One square. So in option A, if you see, we have more than one squares, and also we do not see any horizontal lines. Also, we do not see any horizontal lines, and we see more than one square. So here itself, your answer is failing because you do not have horizontal lines. In option B, let's check. We have one square. As you all can see, this is the square. And how many spheres do we have? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do have 8 spheres. So this is done. This is done. Coming to the next one, 4 curves. 1, 2. So you all can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we do have curves as well. And we do have the 4 horizontal lines as well, which is here. So option B is the right answer to this. Okay. Clear with such kind of questions, the approach? Okay. With this, we are going to the third question of figure matrix. Let's quickly have a look. In the following question, identify which of the following alternative figures completes the pattern in the given matrix. All of you can again try to figure out the pattern here. So again, you can actually go row wise or column wise or any way you wish to. So I would be going row wise, and if you see row wise, this is my first figure, this is my second, and this is my third. And what I notice in my first and third figure is my first figure and third figure are exactly symmetrical. When I say symmetrical, when the first figure and third figure are overlapped, when they are folded, they would be overlapped. Okay. Same way in the second row also, you could see that here, okay, this is the part missing. In the third row, let's check. We do have the first figure which has all these shapes, the third figure which has all these shapes. And when you try to overlap it, it would be again symmetrical. Okay. So definitely our second figure also should follow symmetry between the first and third elements of the second row. So here goes our options. So here, according to the options, we are going to check out. So our figure should look exactly the same as this. So this would be the smaller one, this would be the bigger one, right? And then this is the smaller triangle and this is the bigger triangle, right? And out of this, which one is going to be shaded since it has to be symmetrical? So therefore, the ones which are shaded in the element 1, the same parts would be shaded in element 3 as well. So out of A, B, C and D, which one is the right answer? We all can see that out of A, B, C and D, option A is the right answer. Okay. Noticing the size of the shapes are also important here. So symmetry is something which actually helped us to determine the pattern here. Okay. So with this, we are moving ahead with our advanced level questions. So let's see our first advanced level question. Find out the alternative figure which contains figure X as its part. So we need to figure out that this figure X is a part of which of the following figures. So you have this kind and this kind of format. So option 1, it does have something of this sort, but it does not have, it has a complete curved line, but we don't need a complete curved line. We just need this half kind of curved line. Okay. So let's try to figure out option 2. As you all can see that we do have option 2 wherein we have this part and we have this half curved line like this going in. So I could say the part of figure X is embedded in figure 2. So hence option B is the right answer. Alright, so I hope all of you are enjoying the session. If you are, please do click on the like option and do share it with your friends. And with this, we are moving ahead with our last question for the day. So here it goes. Our question is, in the following question, a figure is given. Find out which one of the option figures is identical to the figure. So as you all can see that all of these figures looks very similar. That is, they have, this whole kind of cube and small cubes inside them. The only thing that's going to differentiate it is this part, the one which does not have a cube. So there's an L kind of pattern, and with the L kind of pattern, you have this rectangular type of pattern which is above L. Okay. So from here, what could we do? What could we say is, so from here, if you look into option A, you do have an L kind of shape, but the other rectangle which we figured out is not exactly adjacent to the L figure. Coming to option B, so we do have this L figure, right? And we do have a rectangle as well. Whereas option C does not have anything as such. Option D also does not have anything matching. So hence option B is the one which is going to help us to identify the pattern. So for these kind of questions, always remember, do not look into the common parts. Common parts as in all of these figures look very similar in terms of having a whole cube and then smaller cubes inside them. The only thing that's differentiating them is the spacing of these diagrams. So the spacing is something which you need to carefully observe. Alright, so I hope all of you did enjoy the session. With this, we'll quickly go ahead with our learning outcomes. So what we have studied in today's session, carefully observing the options to find the hidden part in it, visualizing the figures to arrive at a solution, listing out various options to how the figure should be identical to get the correct answer. So these were all about our learning outcomes. I hope all of you understood how do you observe, identify and analyze these kind of questions. So thanks a lot for attending this session, and if you did like it, then please click on the like button and share it with your friends. And with this, I would quickly like to brief about TUCO. So for everyone who's new to the session, TUCO has been introduced by Cuemath, which is the ultimate Cuemath Olympiad, which is going to be held in the month of December. Please go ahead and register. The registration link is there in the description box, and you all can register for this exam for just 200 rupees. And with this, you would also be provided with the TUCO worksheets, that is the curriculum from Cuemath, just for rupees 200 alone. So within this 200 rupees, you would be able to access the curriculum, practice worksheets along with masterclasses and the exam. And this curriculum worksheets that you're going to get is worth 5,000 rupees. So all you get is in 200 rupees. So I hope you all enjoyed. Have a good